Have you ever dreamed of a life so glamorous, so filled with luxury, that your own reality feels like a cage? Today, we're diving into a story that explores that very desire, a classic tale with a twist that will leave you speechless. This is the story of About the Necklace, a young woman named Mathilde Loisel, blessed with beauty and charm, but cursed with a longing for a life she doesn't have. She dreams of shimmering silks, grand parties, and the admiration of high society. Instead, she's married to a modest clerk, living a simple, ordinary life. While her husband adores her, Mathilde finds herself constantly dissatisfied, her days filled with daydreams of what could have been. One evening, her husband comes home, his face beaming with excitement. He hands her an envelope, and inside is an invitation to a grand ball at the minister's palace. This is it, the chance for Mathilde to finally step into the world she's always dreamed of. But her joy quickly evaporates. "What will I wear?" she cries. "I have no gown for such an event." Her kind husband, seeing her distress, gives her all the money he'd saved for himself so she can buy a beautiful new dress. But even with the perfect gown, Mathilde isn't satisfied. "I have no jewelry," she laments. "I'll look like a pauper among all those wealthy women." Her husband suggests a simple solution. Why not borrow something from your rich friend, Madame Forestier? So, Mathilde visits her friend, and her eyes light up as she's presented with a case of dazzling jewels. After much deliberation, she chooses one piece that outshines all the others, a magnificent diamond necklace. At the ball, Mathilde is a sensation. She's the most beautiful woman in the room, graceful and radiant. Men line up to dance with her, and she floats through the night in a haze of joy and triumph. For one perfect evening, she is the person she always believed she was meant to be. But the dream shatters when they arrive home. As Mathilde stands before the mirror to take one last look at her glamorous self, she lets out a horrified gasp. The necklace is gone. Panic sets in. They retrace their steps, search every corner of their apartment, and scour the streets, but it's nowhere to be found. Overwhelmed with shame and fear, they can't bring themselves to tell Madame Forestier the truth. They decide there's only one thing to do: replace it. They find a jeweler with a nearly identical necklace. The price? A staggering 36,000 francs. It's a fortune, an amount far beyond their means, but they are desperate. They borrow money from anyone who will lend it, take out high-interest loans, and sell what little they have. They buy the new necklace and return it to Madame Forestier, who, thankfully, doesn't notice the switch. Their relief is short-lived. The crushing weight of their debt descends upon them. They move to a tiny attic room, dismiss their servant, and their lives become a relentless cycle of grueling work. Mathilde, once so concerned with her appearance, now scrubs floors, hauls heavy buckets of water, and haggles with shopkeepers over every penny. The years stretch on, 1, 5, 10. Hardship etches lines on her face, her hands become rough, and her youthful beauty fades into a distant memory. 10 long years later, the debt is finally paid. One sunny afternoon, Mathilde is walking in the park when she sees a familiar, elegant figure, Madame Forestier, still as beautiful and youthful as ever. A strange impulse takes hold of Mathilde. She decides it's time to tell her the truth. She approaches her old friend. "Do you remember me?" she asks. Madame Forestier barely recognizes the weary, aged woman before her. "It's me, Mathilde Loisel." With a sad, tired smile, Mathilde confesses everything. "Do you remember that diamond necklace you lent me for the minister's ball? Well, I lost it." Madame Forestier looks confused. "But you returned it to me." "I returned another one to you exactly like it," Mathilde explains. "And it has taken us 10 years to pay for it. You can understand that it wasn't easy for us, who had nothing, but it is finished, and I am decently content." Madame Forestier stops, her face pale with shock. She takes both of Mathilde's hands. "Oh, my poor Mathilde," she says, her voice trembling. "Why didn't you tell me? Mine was an imitation. It was worth 500 francs at the most. Imagine that. 10 years of sacrifice, a decade of lost youth and beauty, all for a lie, all for a fake necklace. This powerful story is a stark reminder of the dangers of materialism and the deceptive nature of appearances. It questions our ambitions and the price we're willing to pay to fit into a world that may not even be real. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through The Necklace. See you in the next video.